Well, more now on the criticism and concern that followed comments from World Cup ambassador Khalid Salman yesterday. He described homosexuality as damage in the mind and said that LGBTQ+ supporters must accept the rules of Qatar in an interview with German television. Dr. Nasser Mohamed was the first openly gay Qatari who now lives in America. He sat down with us to give us an insight into life in Qatar for LGBTQ people.
Dr. Nass, just start then by telling us a little bit about your story and why you decided to speak out in public earlier this year.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Nasser Mohamed. I'm a Qatari citizen, currently living in the United States on asylum because I'm an LGBT person. I've been in the United States 11 years and in San Francisco for the last 7. I've been openly out since moving to the United States, but not out in the way that I am now. I came out this year as Qatari as well, because we didn't have a public voice this year. And I really thought that having a true reflective image on how the LGBT community in Qatar is treated this year is really, really important. Can
you give us an insight into some of your experiences then?
Growing up there, growing up in Qatar, I had to absolutely keep that part of me completely hidden because it was very dangerous. Besides social rejection and risk of not being able to hold a job or risk of violence from community members, you also run a risk of being really severely harmed by your own family and the law enforcement if this information is out. So a lot of these stories, like including mine, remain in the shadows, and a lot of people don't hear about them. And even when we leave and take asylum like myself, we're still afraid to come out publicly and speak because we still worry about being found and harmed. And that's why, like, even till now, I'm still the only one speaking. Inside or outside Qatar, I'm the only one speaking out publicly. And that alone should tell you something. Without knowing how awful it is, this fact alone should just paint a picture for you.
Are there a lot of LGBT Qataris living in fear then? Worried for their safety, for their life, and unable to be themselves? Yes, absolutely. A lot of us over there really don't know about each other, right? Because it's unsafe. And when one person is found out, the law enforcement punishes them and then taps into their entire network. They really just, we have no right to privacy, basically. They will go in, they'll go through your contacts, they'll try to find all the other LGBT people that you know. So that's a risk. So people really try to keep their networks small. Then on top of that, if you saw the Human Rights Watch report that came out recently talking about the Preventive Security Department and how they're basically kidnapping and torturing people in solitary confinement for their sexual orientation and gender identity, they would bring the same person more than once to these facilities and beat them up and subject them to conversion practices. And then they would offer some of them they would offer them some safety in exchange for working for them as undercover agents. And some people do that for their safety because they're trapped. And so now you have the situation where you're scared of your own community there because you don't know who's working with the law enforcement. You don't know who would get caught and get your information leaked. It's like survival for the fittest situation, and it's just terrible. You're painting a picture of fear, isolation, persecution. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. We don't have freedom of speech. We cannot do that without losing everything that we have.
How does it make you feel when the organisers of the World Cup are saying this is a safe place for the LGBT community and everybody is welcome?
It's just a false statement. I'm not welcome. So everyone is not welcome. Here is one exception, but there are many more exceptions to that rule. And they obviously have set the deal. They decided to do something, and they're going with it, and they're taking no feedback, right? Like, did they acknowledge the concerns like I had, the concerns that I've been bringing to their attention? No, people didn't even address me at all as a person. Like, they didn't come up and say, here is a citizen from that country that's an LGBT, they have concerns, like, let's hear them out and see how we can work towards a solution. Nothing.
Are you fearful about what will happen in the future when the spotlight of the World Cup is gone?
Yep. I do. I really do. But that was I committed to that decision, and the risk is not zero, and I understand that. I really think that after this year, we have to have a way to continue to bring visibility to what's happening inside Qatar. And now I hope everybody knows that the generic statements from Qatari officials are not reflective of what's happening in Qatar.
Well, FIFA say that they are confident that all necessary measures will be in place for LGBTQI+ fans and their allies to enjoy the tournament in a welcoming and safe environment, just as for everyone else. And these are the measures taken in the build-up to the tournament. They've put on human rights training sessions with public and private security forces. There's been training of staff and personnel involved in the delivery of the tournament. There are in-stadium measures such as the anti-discrimination monitoring system or the implementation of the 3-step procedure to address discrimination during a match. FIFA will also provide a grievance procedure and enact legal protection for all individuals from those communities.